Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real straight. Life is not going to hand you anything if you don't decide what you want first. Too many people wake up every day just letting life happen to them, but winners, successful people, they wake up with goals. They wake up with intention. They wake up saying, this is what I'm going after. Goals are not just dreams. They are roadmaps. They are the difference between wandering around and actually arriving somewhere. So if you really want to change your life, you got to set goals that stretch you, grow you, and push you to become the person you were created to be. I'm going to share with you 10 goals you should be setting for yourself. And if you take these serious, your life won't look the same a year from now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you want to change your life, if you want to take yourself to the next level, you got to understand one simple thing. Discipline is everything. It don't matter how talented you are. It don't matter how many dreams you got in your head. It don't matter how many people believe in you. If you don't have discipline, you're not going to get nowhere. I done met some of the most talented people in the world. People with ideas that could change the planet, but they couldn't stay committed. They couldn't stay focused. They couldn't get up on time. They couldn't stick with it when it got hard. And because of that, their talent never made it to the world. Discipline is the difference between people who make it and people who don't. Because I didn't really understand. You can't just wait until you feel like doing it, because feelings are temporary. Feelings change, feelings come and go, but discipline is about showing up no matter how you feel. See, discipline is like a muscle. You got to work it every single day. You can't expect to be strong if you never practice. Every time you tell yourself no when it's easier to say yes. Every time you choose to work instead of being lazy. Every time you keep pushing when your body wants to quit, you building discipline. And the more you build it, the stronger you get, the more consistent you become, and consistency is where success really lives. Anybody can be motivated for a day, anybody can be fired up for a week, but discipline is what keeps you going for months, for years, until your dream finally shows up. I remember when I was trying to make it in comedy, I wasn't making no money, I was broke, I was living out of my car, and it would have been real easy to just quit, to just say, man, this ain't working. But I had discipline. I had discipline to write every day, to practice my jokes, to get up on stage even when people booed me, even when nobody laughed. And it was discipline that kept me moving until the day opportunity finally knocked on my door. See, people look at your success and they think it just happened overnight, but what they don't see is the years of discipline it took when nobody was watching. You got to set rules for yourself, because if you don't, the world will set rules for you. Discipline is about boundaries, about self-control, about saying, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. If you want to be successful, you can't just do what everybody else is doing. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to say no to certain people, no to certain habits, no to certain environments, because you can't have success and distraction at the same time. People want the reward, but they don't want the sacrifice. But discipline is the price you pay up front for the future you want to live in. And let me tell you something. Discipline don't just affect your career. It affects every area of your life. It affects how healthy you are, how strong your relationships are, how much money you keep, how much peace you have in your mind. If you discipline with your time, you don't waste it on things that don't matter. If you discipline with your money, you don't spend it just to impress people. You invest it to build wealth. If you discipline with your words, you don't say things that break people down. You use your words to build people up. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. It's God's way of getting you ready for the blessing you've been asking for. Most people think discipline means you got to give up fun, you got to give up joy, but that's not true. Discipline is not about taking away life. It's about giving you the freedom to actually live the life you want. Because when you disciplined enough to stay on track, to keep grinding, to keep believing. You wake up one day and you live in the dream you prayed about. The people who laughed at you, the ones who doubted you, they start asking how you did it, and the answer is simple. You stayed disciplined when they didn't. You showed up when they gave up. You kept walking when they stopped. You built something brick by brick while they were waiting for somebody to hand them something. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about money that a lot of people don't want to hear. Money is not evil. Money is not bad. Money is not the root of all problems. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, not the money itself. Money is a tool, it's a resource. And if you learn how to use it right, it will change not just your life, but your children's lives and their children's lives. Too many of us were never taught how to handle money, so we end up working hard, earning money, but it slips right through our fingers because we don't have financial responsibility. Success without money management is like filling up a bucket full of holes. It don't matter how much you pour in, it's always going to drain out. See, one of the biggest lessons I had to learn early on was this. If you can't manage a little, you'll never manage a lot. Everybody wants millions. Everybody wants wealth, but most people can't even manage a paycheck. How are you asking God for more when you don't even respect what he already gave you? You get paid on Friday, and by Monday you broke again. Not because you don't make enough, but because you don't have discipline with your money. You out here buying shoes you don't need, cars you can't afford, clothes to impress people that don't even care about you. And at the end of the day, you got nothing left to show for it. Financial responsibility is not about looking rich. It's about building real wealth, wealth that grows, wealth that lasts, wealth that frees you from stress. Now, let me be real with you. Financial responsibility starts with one simple habit. Budgeting. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will leave you before you even realize it. A budget is not punishment, it's protection. It's saying, I control my money don't control me. You got to know what's coming in, what's going out, and where it's going. Because the truth is, people don't go broke because of what they don't make. They go broke because of how they spend. It's about priorities. You got to learn how to sacrifice right now for the future you want to live in. Another thing about financial responsibility is saving. I know saving ain't glamorous. I know it don't make you look good on Instagram, but it'll save your life when the storm comes. Because trust me, storms are coming. Life has a way of throwing you problems you didn't see coming. A car breaking down, a hospital bill, losing a job. And if you don't got nothing set aside, one emergency will wipe you out. You got to set a goal to build an emergency fund and then build investments that grow while you sleep. That's when you stop working just for money and money starts working for you. Let me tell you something else. Stop comparing yourself to other people. A lot of people out here broke because they trying to live like somebody else. You see somebody with a fancy car, you think you got to get one too. You see somebody posting vacations, you go put it on your credit card. That's not financial responsibility. That's financial suicide. The truth is, some of the richest looking people you see are drowning in debt. And some of the quietest people you never notice are the ones building real wealth. Don't get caught up in appearances. Focus on your own race, your own money, your own goals. And you got to think generationally. Financial responsibility is not just about paying your bills today. It's about building something that outlasts you. It's about creating opportunities for your kids and your grandkids so they don't have to start from scratch like you did. That means life insurance. That means investments. That means teaching your children how to handle money so the cycle of struggle doesn't keep repeating itself. True wealth is not just what you accumulate. It's the knowledge and legacy you pass down. I know it ain't easy. I know it takes sacrifice. But here's the truth. Every time you choose responsibility over recklessness, every time you choose saving over wasting, every time you choose investing over impressing, you are building a future that your future self is going to thank you for. Financial responsibility gives you freedom, and freedom is priceless. Freedom to make decisions without fear, freedom to take risks, freedom to bless others, freedom to live life on your terms. And that's what money's supposed to do, not control you, but empower you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care how much money you make, how big your house is, how many cars you drive, or how much success you stack up in your career. If you don't have your health, you don't have nothing. Health is the foundation of everything else. You can't enjoy success if you're too tired to live it. You can't enjoy your blessings if you laid up in a hospital bed because you neglected your body. And let me tell you something. This is one area a lot of people overlook until it's too late. We spend all this time grinding, chasing, hustling, building, but we don't take care of the very thing that allows us to do all that, our body. You only get one body in this life. You can replace a car, you can replace a job, you can replace clothes, but you can't replace your body. And if you wear it out too soon, there ain't no reset button. That's why you got to set a goal to take care of yourself every single day. I know it ain't easy. I know it takes discipline, but health is one of those things that will either make life sweeter or make it hard. If you got good health, you got energy, you got strength, you got peace of mind. But if you let yourself go, if you don't pay attention, it starts to cost you in ways you never imagined. I'm going to be real with you. Taking care of your health starts with the little choices you make daily. It's about what you put in your mouth, what you put in your body, how much you move, how much you rest. It don't mean you can never enjoy yourself. It just means you got to be mindful. You can't keep filling your body with junk, with sugar, with fried everything, with late night fast food, and expect to perform like a champion. You fueling your car with the wrong gas, and then you wonder why it's breaking down on the side of the road. Your body's the same way. You got to put the right fuel in if you want to run at full speed. And then there's exercise. I'm not telling you got to be in the gym lifting weights for 2 hours every day, but you got to move. Your body was not designed to sit on a couch all day, to stare at a screen for hours, to be still all the time. Motion is life. Go walk, go stretch, go jog, go play basketball. Do something that keeps your blood flowing, your muscles active, your lungs strong. A little bit every day adds up, and the more consistent you are, the more energy you'll have to chase your dreams. Now let's talk about rest. I know in this hustle culture, everybody talking about team no sleep, about grinding 24/7, about working till your eyes bleed. But let me tell you something. Rest is part of success. Your body and your mind need time to recharge. You can't make good decisions when you're exhausted. You can't be creative when your brain is running on empty. Sleep is not a weakness, it's a weapon, and if you don't use it, you're burning yourself out before you even reach the finish line. Health is not just physical either, it's mental. You got to take care of your mind, because stress, anxiety, depression, those things can eat you alive if you ignore them. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Don't be afraid to slow down. Don't be afraid to protect your peace. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who bring positivity, who encourage you, because negativity is poison to your spirit. Protecting your mental health is just as important as eating right and exercising. And let's be real. A lot of us grew up in environments where nobody talked about health. Maybe your family didn't eat right. Maybe nobody showed you how to exercise. Maybe nobody cared about mental health. But just because that's where you came from doesn't mean that's where you got to stay. You can break the cycle. You can be the one in your family who says, nah, we eating better now. We walking every day now. We talking about how we feel now. When you change your health, you don't just change your life. You change the example you set for everybody watching you, your kids, your spouse, your friends. At the end of the day, health is wealth. Because what good is the car, the house, the money, the fame, if you can't get out of bed, if you can't breathe without struggling, if you can't walk up a flight of stairs without losing your breath? Don't wait until the doctor tells you it's time to change. Don't wait until your body forces you to slow down. Make the decision now that your health is a priority, because everything else you want in life depends on it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful. If you want to change your life, you got to change yourself first. Success is not about luck. It's not about who your parents are. It's not about what side of town you grew up on. It's about how much you're willing to grow. Personal growth is the goal that opens the door to every other goal. If you're the same person today that you were last year, then you wasted a year. Growth means you stretch, you expand, you improve, you level up. You can't keep thinking the same, talking the same, acting the same, and expect your life to be different. You got to become someone new to get something new. See, the problem with most people is they want success to fit into their current habits, their current way of thinking, their current circle. But that's not how it works. Success demands a new version of you. The dreams you're praying for require a stronger, smarter, wiser, more disciplined version of you. And you don't just become that person overnight. It takes work. It takes time. It takes a commitment to growth every single day. One of the ways you grow is through knowledge. You got to read more. You got to study. You got to open your mind to new ideas. You can't expect to be successful if the only thing you feed your mind is gossip, negativity, and distractions. Winners feed their minds with wisdom. Pick up books that challenge you, watch videos that inspire you, listen to mentors who've been where you're trying to go. Knowledge is power, but only if you apply it. You got to use what you learn to take action. Another part of growth is who you spend your time with. If you hanging around people who don't want nothing out of life, guess what? You're not going to want nothing either. If you hanging around complainers, you're going to end up complaining. But if you surround yourself with people who push you, who challenge you, who make you think bigger, you're going to start growing without even realizing it. Your environment shapes your mindset, and your mindset shapes your future. Sometimes the biggest growth you can make is changing your circle, and growth requires getting uncomfortable. You don't grow by staying safe. You don't grow by doing what you already know how to do. Growth comes when you step into something new, something that scares you, something that forces you to stretch. Every time you do something you thought you couldn't do, you expand who you are. You build confidence, you build resilience, and you prepare yourself for bigger opportunities. The reason some people stay stuck is because they keep running from discomfort, not realizing discomfort is where the growth is. You also got to grow in your character. It don't matter how much money you make or how much fame you get. If your character is weak, it will all fall apart. Growth means becoming more honest, more patient, more humble, more compassionate. It means treating people better, respecting yourself, doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. See, true success is not just about achievement. It's about who you become along the way. And don't think growth stops at a certain age. You're never too old to grow. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to dream new dreams. I don't care if you're 30, 50, 70, or 90. As long as you got breath in your body, you got room to grow. Life will always present you with lessons, and if you're humble enough to learn them, you will keep getting better. The moment you stop growing is the moment you start dying. Personal growth is also about self-awareness. You got to know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your habits, your pattern. Too many people avoid looking in the mirror because they don't want to face themselves. But growth requires honesty. You got to be willing to admit where you've fallen short and then put in the work to fix it. Don't just celebrate your strengths. Work on your weaknesses. Don't just repeat what's comfortable. Challenge what's holding you back. And here's the truth. Growth is not always visible right away. Sometimes you don't see it, but you feel it. Sometimes the people around you see it before you do. Growth is slow, it's steady. It's like planting a seed. You don't get a tree the next day, but if you keep watering, if you keep nurturing, eventually that seed becomes something strong, something unshakable, something fruitful. That's how growth works in your life. At the end of the day, personal growth is the secret ingredient that separates those who wish from those who achieve. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about making progress day by day, year by year, until one day you look back and realize you are not the same person anymore. You smarter, you stronger, you wiser, you bolder, you more prepared. And because of that, your life looks completely different. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. The people in your life will either take you higher or drag you lower. Relationships are one of the most powerful forces in your journey. And if you don't pay attention to who you let in your circle, you could be blocking your own blessings. You cannot expect to live a positive, successful life if you're surrounded by negative, unsuccessful people. Who you spend your time with shapes who you become. And that's not just a cute saying, that's the truth. If you hang around 5 broke people, you about to be the 6th. If you hang around 5 dreamers, you about to start dreaming too. Relationships matter more than most of us realize. See, every relationship in your life is either investment or withdrawal. Some people pour into you. They give you energy, encouragement, wisdom, and love. And some people drain you. They take your energy. They tear down your dreams. They keep you stuck where you are. The problem is too many of us keep holding on to people who don't belong in our future just because they were part of our past. You got to learn to let go of toxic relationships because toxic people will poison your progress. I don't care if it's a friend, a coworker, or even family. If somebody is constantly negative, constantly pulling you down, constantly stopping you from becoming your best self, you got to create some distance. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's necessary. And let me tell you something else. Relationships are not just about cutting people off. They're about building the right ones. You got to be intentional about who you spend time with. Find mentors who've been where you're trying to go. Find friends who celebrate your success instead of being jealous of it. Find a partner who believes in you, supports you, and pushes you to be better. Too many people settle for relationships that keep them small because they're afraid of being alone. But I'd rather walk alone for a season than walk with people who keep me from my destiny. Relationships also require effort. Don't expect to have strong friendships or strong marriages if you're not willing to put in the work. You got to communicate. You got to forgive. You got to show up for people. Stop expecting loyalty from people you only call when you need something. Stop expecting love from people you never invest love into. Relationships grow when you nurture them, just like a plant. If you water it, feed it, and protect it, it flourishes. But if you ignore it, it withers away. And here's the real truth. Your relationships reveal your character. How you treat people says more about you than it says about them. If you treat people with respect, if you lift them up, if you encourage them, that's a reflection of your heart. You're never too big to be kind. You're never too successful to be humble. Some people climb to the top and forget the ones who helped them on the way up. But true success is when you remember when you reach back and pull somebody else up too. Let's not forget relationships within your own family. Sometimes we out here trying to conquer the world, but our households are falling apart. Don't neglect your children. Don't neglect your spouse. Don't neglect your parents while you're out here chasing success. Because at the end of the day, the people closest to you matter the most. Nobody is going to remember the car you drove, but they will remember how you made them feel. They will remember if you were present, if you gave them love, if you showed up. And it's not just personal relationships, it's professional ones too. Your network is your net worth. Sometimes success is not about what you know, but who you know. The right relationships open doors that talent alone can't. That's why you got to carry yourself with integrity, with honesty, with consistency. You never know who's watching. You never know who could open the door to your next opportunity. Don't burn bridges unnecessarily, because the same people you pass on the way up, you might see on the way back down. Relationships are also about reciprocity. Don't just take, give. Don't just expect, contribute. Don't just look for what people can do for you. Ask yourself what you can do for them. The most powerful relationships are built on mutual respect, mutual effort, and mutual growth. And when you invest in those kinds of connections, you'll find that success feels sweeter, because you're not celebrating alone. You're celebrating with people who truly want to see you win. At the end of the day, your relationships will shape the quality of your life far more than money or status ever will. Choose wisely, love deeply, let go when you need to, and never stop building connections that push you to become the best version of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. Life is not just about what you get, it's about what you give. You can chase money, you can chase fame, you can chase recognition, but at the end of the day, all of that fades. What lasts is the impact you make on other people's lives. People may forget your titles, people may forget your accomplishments, but they will never forget how you made them feel, how you lifted them when they were down, how you inspired them when they were ready to quit. That's real success. That's legacy. That's impact. See, too many people live like life is only about themselves. They think the goal is to pile up achievements, to show off, to prove they're better than the next person. But fulfillment don't come from selfishness. It comes from service. The happiest, most successful people I know are the ones who use what they got to bless somebody else. You don't have to be rich to make an impact. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to have millions of followers. Sometimes your greatest impact is in the small moments. Encouraging a friend, teaching your child, helping a stranger. You never know how far your kindness can travel. And here's the truth. When you make it your goal to impact others, you attract blessings back into your own life. That's how the universe works. That's how God designed it. When you give, it comes back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. If you want to live a life full of purpose, make it your mission to touch as many lives as you can. Don't just pass through this world without leaving a mark. Somebody should be able to say, because of that person, I kept going. Because of that person, I believed again. Because of that person, I didn't give up. Impact doesn't mean you got to change the whole world, but it does mean you got to change somebody's world. Maybe you're the teacher that plants a seed in a child that makes them believe they can be something. Maybe you're the business owner that gives somebody a chance when nobody else would hire them. Maybe you're the parent that raises kids with love and wisdom that carries on for generations. That's impact. That's the kind of success that money can't buy. And here's another thing. Impact requires intention. You can't just stumble into it. You got to live with purpose. Every day, ask yourself, who can I help today? Who can I encourage? Who can I serve? If you make that a daily habit, you won't just change others, you'll change yourself. Your perspective shifts when you start thinking only about your own problems and start thinking about how you can be the solution for somebody else. But let me be real with you. Impact ain't always convenient. Sometimes it means sacrificing your time. Sometimes it means stepping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it means putting somebody else's needs before your own. But that's where the beauty is. You never know how powerful your actions are until you see the difference they make in somebody else's life. A simple word, a simple act, a simple gesture can live in a person's heart forever. And if you want to talk about legacy, this is it. Legacy is not what you leave in your bank account. is what you leave in people's hearts. Money can be spent, buildings can crumble, awards can collect dust, but the lives you touch will carry your name long after you're gone. That's why impact is one of the greatest goals you can set. Because when you live for impact, you live for something bigger than yourself. Don't wait until you make it to start making an impact. Start with what you got right where you are. If you got time, give time. If you got wisdom, share wisdom. If you got resources, use them to lift others. You don't have to be on a stage. You don't have to be on TV. You don't have to have $1 million. You just got to have a willing heart and the courage to care. That's what changes lives. At the end of the day, people won't remember every word you said, but they will remember the love you gave, the hope you shared, and the difference you made. That's impact, and that's the kind of success that never dies.